Recently, I've come into contact with something that I like to call an undercover bully. Yes, I thought that most bullies were in your face, knock you down, take your lunch money, and that was it. And you knew it. You'd be like, he's a bully. Well, guess what? There's a thing called undercover bullies. Because they're hard to spot. Because they kind of put on a different air and a different face than we're used to. So how do we spot them and how do we deal with them? Okay, the first thing about an undercover bully, which is interesting, is they make themselves increasingly and amazingly valuable. Okay, so they bring a lot of value to the team, or they bring a lot of value to the neighborhood, or whatever it is. It's always how I am so great, me, 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 me. And they have this different face when it comes to the people who are what? Who are writing their paychecks, or the people that they're trying to impress. For the other people that they don't care about, you get to see their nasty, gnarly side that you sit there and go, oh my God, okay, this is really a total bully. For other people, they're nice, they're extremely outgoing, and it's not until you cross them or you're no longer paying them or you're no longer saying how great they are, do they turn on you. It's interesting too, because of an undercover bully, a lot of times they like to embellish the truth, okay? They like to talk about how big they are, they like to talk about how skilled they are, and how nobody on the planet can ever replace them because their job is just so unique and so amazing. And when you start pulling that onion back, you begin to realize that that too is a preservation game to keep people out of their area. The next thing about it is, Undercover bullies are very interesting because they usually hide behind other people. Okay, let me explain. So they don't rule with the iron fist directly to everybody and tell them how they feel. They use other people in front of them to do their dirty work, okay? Because they don't want anybody calling them on the carpet. And they want to be above it. They're the kings. We're just the peasants here to tell them how great they are. Another thing too is that they're always above the law. Okay, so they rule with an iron fist, but they don't actually adhere to their own rulings. And if you ever try to question them, they're going to put up an air of attitude that you're not worthy to even really be talking to them. Last but not least is that the attitude and the demeanor is kind of this ash-holy-ish demeanor that I like to say. I don't really have another word for it. And they use that to put a wall around themselves and to keep you out. So one of the things that you can do to deal with these people is to first be able to identify the fact that you're dealing with an undercover bully. Because honestly, a bully of any sort is what? A scared human being. Somebody that's scared and intimidated by other people and have to have this air about them that makes them grandiose. The next thing is to identify, but knowing is half the battle. The next thing that you want to do is realize that their emotional EQ is very low. And so when you're dealing with them, they're not going to have that same ability to communicate with you on a certain level. So at some point in time, yes, you're going to have to step over them. Unless you can actually talk to them and have a conversation, which is rare, and that takes several months, even years to break down that wall. If you're not willing to take that much time, usually you have to go to the source and figure out how to overcome them and be able to work around them. Because usually when you take them out of the equation, their value also leaves, and the necessity to have them even around you is zero. So remember that when you're dealing with somebody that seems a little odd, a little different, and maybe even a little rude, you could be actually dealing with no other than an undercover bully. Don't forget this, because I have one in my life right now and I keep my eye on him on a constant basis. This will help you to live your true life today.